This is the recording to explain your first assignment, which is called your first design. And your first design assignment worth 100 points. And it is in the game elements unit, right over here at the left-hand side. Assignment your first design. So I click on that and I end up getting this screen. And you can see that in your first design, this is all about everything that you learned in the game elements unit. So in this assignment, you're going to think about the game that you have in mind. Remember the game that you might want to design someday. And it could be as far out, as far-fetched as you want. So, it could be somewhat similar to a game that you play, or it could be something you say, man, I wish there was a game like this. Well, I'm going to create that game. So that could be your planning around the ultimate game you'd want to make. So as we look at this, you can see that your game design must include a story, characters, challenges, strategies, rules, instructions, and levels of play. So it must have all 6 of those items. And these 6 items you learned about as you went through the game elements unit. I hope you learned about those. So it must have those 6 items, and you must answer these questions. How have you designed the gameplay? Is your game innovative? How have you set goals? So you must answer those clearly. Now the full assignment description document is right here, so I'm going to click on that so you can see this full assignment. So again, it has the same information that we just saw, but then it also tells you how to do it. You have 2 choices. You can do a narrative, which means you would do it as like a report using a word processor document, or you could do it as a slide presentation in PowerPoint or another presentation. Now let me explain how you would do both of those. But for each one, you have to have some pictorial representation of your game that you have sketched. So let's say you're doing a game about driving a car, or a racing game. Then you would maybe you'd sketch out a picture of one of the cars. You could sketch out a picture of how the racetrack would go. You can sketch out a picture of a couple features of the racetrack. If you're doing a game where you're like a person exploring something, then you could do a picture of what the different characters might look like, some of the characters. So we have to have some pictorial representations, and that would be probably at least 2 sketches you've done. Same with down here if you're doing a presentation, same thing. Custom animations on a presentation, images sketched by you. Now the question on the images is, how do you get them into the document? Well, you could do those a couple of ways. You could draw the images using a paint program or something like that, and that's kind of difficult, but you can sketch the pictures on a sheet of paper and then take a picture with a phone or with a digital camera and then put them into the document you're sending or into the presentation. You could draw the pictures and then put them through a scanner to get the images. So those are a couple of ways you can take the pictures. Now if you do everything well, like you would get 100%, but you don't include the pictures, then you're probably going to get about a 70% grade. So I'm going to take off quite a few points for not doing the pictures. And now the other thing to discuss on this, since you need to address all of these items, the way I would do it if I were you, if I was doing a word processor document, I would have a story paragraph, I would have a characters paragraph, I would have a challenges and strategies paragraph, and I would use these titles at the top of each paragraph, so when you submit it to me, then I can see exactly what you're talking about. So if you're doing it in a word processor, you're going to end up with 5 paragraphs or 6 paragraphs, one for each of these that's clearly identified so I can see what you're talking about. Then down below, after you have your 6th paragraph in, then you would put these in your word processing document with the numbers next to them. You would put those in and they would answer these clearly. So however you design the gameplay, then you would go right past here, past the question mark, and then you would start to type your answer. So this needs to be clear, so when I go through your document, I know exactly what you are answering. Got it? That's for the word processor. If I was doing choice B, if I was doing a presentation like PowerPoint, then guess what these 6 items would be? These 6 items would be individual slides, right? With the word story, the word character, the word challenges, with those titles on the slide. And of course, you know, when you do a PowerPoint, you don't have paragraphs of information in a PowerPoint. You have bulleted specific items in a PowerPoint. And then finally, so your PowerPoint would have 6 slides, and then your 7th slide would be all of these answers, including the questions. So your 7th slide, you would just take all of this stuff, right-click copy, then you'd paste that onto the 7th slide of your PowerPoint, and then you would answer each of these on that 7th slide. And your answers may be longer, so a couple of these might be on the 8th slide. That would be fine. But that's how this work is done. I don't want anything less than that. Just turn it in the right way the first time, and then be done with it. So again, you're going to start planning the ultimate game that you would like to make. And when you save this, I would save it, just call it first design assignment. My first design, or something like that. So you know exactly what it is if you need to go back to find it. So just call it my first design. Alright, that's all I have for you. Very easy to do on this assignment, but you need to make sure you use what you learned in the course overview unit and in the game elements unit. Refer to some of the techniques that they talked about in gameplay and game design. Okay, thank you. I look forward to the work coming in. Bye.